Out in the Wild West, where dust swirled like whispers and the law was only as strong as the guns that enforced it, Snow White wasn't just another pretty girl in town. She was trouble. Her stepmother, Madam Queen Ravenna, ruled the town of Blackwood Gulch with an iron fist. She owned the saloon, controlled the sheriff, and made sure everyone knew who the real boss was. Every morning she'd stand in front of her ornate silver mirror behind the bar, asking, "Who's the fiercest outlaw in the West?" For years the mirror answered, "You, ma'am." But one day it hesitated. Then in a voice colder than a desert night, it whispered, "Snow White." That was all it took. The queen wanted her gone. She sent her best bounty hunter, a rugged cowboy known as the Huntsman, to track her down. But when he found her standing by the canyon's edge, gun at her hip, eyes burning with fire, he knew she wasn't the villain here. "Run," he told her, "and don't ever look back." Snow White rode deep into the desert, her horse kicking up golden dust. Days later, starving and exhausted, she stumbled into a hidden outlaw hideout, run by 7 of the meanest, roughest, yet strangely kind-hearted bandits in the West. They took her in, they taught her how to shoot, how to fight, how to survive, and she gave them a reason to fight. When the queen heard Snow White was still alive, she took matters into her own hands. Dressed as an old merchant, she rode into town and offered Snow White a perfect red apple, coated in poison that would freeze her. Rattlesnake missed strike, one bite, Snow hit the ground, thinking she won. The queen rode back to Blackwood Gulch, ready to celebrate. But what she didn't know, the 7 outlaws weren't done yet. Oh, revenge, rise at dawn. At sunrise, the outlaws rode into town with guns blazing. The queen's men fell one by one, and just as she reached for her rifle, a shadow moved behind her. Snow White alive. Turns out the poison wasn't strong enough to take her down for good. And now it was time for justice. With one final shot, the queen's reign ended. Snow White holstered her gun, tipped her hat, and rode off into the horizon. The new legend of the Wild West. Moral of the story: never underestimate a girl with grit. Dark power is borrowed, respect is earned. Dark Snow White wasn't just the fairest, she was the fiercest.